Welcome to the DoubleACS Daily News. Over the course of the COVID pandemic, DoubleACS has reached out to area small businesses to see how they're managing the economic slowdown. New Hope is an Attleboro-based nonprofit that works to help those affected by domestic and sexual violence, and they've continued to operate over the last year. We spoke with the director to get an update on the organization.
I'm Marcia Szymanski, and I'm the Executive Director of New Hope. We've been dealing, as everyone else has, with COVID, and it's been a particularly tough time for New Hope and the survivors that we serve because, as you can imagine, many of them over the past year were forced to isolate with the person who was perpetrating harm on them. Initially, we had a little bit of a decline in people coming for services, but as the state has opened up, we have really been inundated with calls for assistance from people who are dealing with domestic and sexual violence. We are seeing about a 45% increase in hotline calls. We have about a 41% increase in demand for counseling services. It's really stretched our capacity to serve folks, but we want people to know that we are here and we are available. We have a 24/7 hotline answered by a person all the time. There's no answering service. You don't have to leave a message. We also have 2 emergency shelters, and if someone is looking to flee, again, call the hotline and we can see what we can do. We also have counseling in this office. We do counseling and advocacy. We help with housing advocacy here and just any other general supports people need. We also have services, an on-call medical advocate. If someone who is sexually assaulted goes to Sturdy Hospital and needs support as the result of an assault, we will dispatch someone to provide support and just to be with the person and to connect them to any resources after the exam is completed. We also have advocates in the Attleboro Court, along with 7 other courts. And then we have our education and training program, so we work with schools, community groups, anyone that needs services. And finally, we do work with people who perpetrate violence in terms of we have ongoing virtual groups to help people learn new ways of being in a relationship, understand how they develop this belief system that violence is acceptable in relationships, and help them learn new skills. So that's really the range of our services here in the Attleboro area. Shout out to the Attleboro community because people have been more than generous. We were really concerned when this happened that we would be able to maintain our staff and our services, but we have been very fortunate. And as usual, the Attleboro community is extremely gracious and great and generous. So we did get some of the Stronger Together Attleboro funds through the United Way. We got money from the Attleboro Rotary, a number of local banks, Bristol County, Harbor One. People just sent checks and said, I know you're struggling, here's some money, use it for COVID relief. So we have been extremely fortunate. We also got some PPP money through the first round, which has been really helpful, again, in keeping everyone employed. We didn't have to lay off any staff. There's been a number of silver linings, I guess, to COVID, and one of them has been the virtual counseling. One of the things we're finding is that the no-show rate for counseling is really down significantly, so people are actually showing up, and I'm assuming that it's a lot easier if you have children, if you don't have a car. So we most likely will keep some of that. We're still trying to figure out what reopening will look like and what we can do. If anyone listening is in need of services for yourself or for a family member, please reach out to our hotline. Again, 1-800-323-4673, and just thank you to everyone who's really supported us during this year, and know that we are here. Anyone who needs us, we're here for you.